Welcome to Principles of Accounting 2, Accounting 112. This is the second half of the Introduction to Financial Accounting. You must have completed Accounting 111 with a passing grade or transferred equivalent in order to complete this course. I'm your instructor, ldunn. We will be covering chapters 11 through 17 of the book you used in Accounting 111 if you completed the Accounting 111 course in the fall of 2017 or later. So what we're going to do is do a quick overview of the course. Then we're going to look at the syllabus, course outline in detail, tell you how to register for my accounting lab, and then wrap up the orientation with you introducing yourself to the class and emailing me that you've completed the orientation. So let's get started. This is not Accounting 111. A lot of students walk into Accounting 112 feeling very confident, and that's great because they did so well in Accounting 111. Some of you may have had an accounting class before Accounting 111, so that helped you with your confidence level. Some students say, I didn't have to do much in Accounting 111 to do well, just because it came naturally to them. Well, Accounting 112 is a more difficult topic area in accounting. So I give you this warning now so you don't think I don't have to read, I don't have to practice, it's just going to come naturally to me like Accounting 111 did. No, we go into more complex and confusing areas in Accounting 112. So please approach this course knowing you're not in Accounting 111 anymore. So what are we going to be doing? Well, first, you're going to be reading through the chapters at least twice, and we're going to review this again. You're going to see that there's voice lecture on each chapter. You're going to do lots of practice with exercises, practice questions and problems, and then you will show your mastery of the material by completing graded assignments and quizzes. That will be done for each chapter. You'll have 2 chapter tests. Your final exam is on 1 chapter, and you're going to have a project due as well, which is still in the planning phase. There is going to be some extra credit options for you as well. Please know that all of the course requirements can be found in Blackboard. Okay, so we're going to start going through the orientation then. That was just a quick overview. First of all, the syllabus. The syllabus file is in the orientation folder. I encourage you to download it, read it, look at the course objectives and goals that we will be working towards during the semester. The course outline is our contract between instructor and student, and I'd like to go over some of the major areas of it and make sure you understand the requirements. First of all, there's my contact information. My name is ldunn again, Building 7, Room 701J. My phone is listed there, as well as my direct email and my office hours, Monday and Wednesday, 11:05 to 1:05. Now let's talk about the book. This is very important. If you completed Accounting 111 at LCCC in the fall of 2017, spring or summer of 2018, you have all required material for the course already. We use the same book, and you'll use your same access code for My Accounting Lab. You don't need your access code. The publisher is already aware that you have it if you use My Accounting Lab in Accounting 111, and you'll be able to register for the course without buying anything. If you took Accounting 111 before the fall of 2017, these are your options of purchasing the book and access code and the various ISBNs. If you have any question on that, let me know. If your first accounting course was at a different school, you'll have to purchase these materials. So most of us have taken Accounting 111 since the fall of 2017. But if you are one of those anomalies, or you're one of those people who needs to purchase the book and access code, please contact me if you need help with anything. The technology we'll be using. Blackboard Learn. As I said, Blackboard Learn is really the core of your course. and specifically course information. That is where all links and required assessments must be completed. So it's a one-stop shopping. You go into course information and everything's there for you to complete the course. My Accounting Lab is a supplemental website that's provided by the publisher for you to complete various items, quizzes, practice exercises, graded problems, extra credit. There are links to My Accounting Lab within Blackboard Learn. There are PowerPoints, so you may need to use PowerPoint software. That's optional though. And Adobe Reader, of course, for reading PDFs. Now here's just a snapshot of the course information area for Chapter 11. You'll notice each chapter is set up with information about all the different items that are required to be completed or optional, just to let you know everything. So what's important is that you know how to get to this area and you understand the requirements for the course, but that's where you'll find it. Now, what is required? So now let's go through the outline. First of all, you need to read the chapter at least twice. The first time you read through it, you're getting a feel for the information. You might make a note or two. You're trying to figure out what they're talking about. I also encourage you to read the learning objectives first, because they're at the beginning of the chapter and they're telling you, here's what you're going to learn. And then go through each of those. Then the second time you read through it, now you're taking notes, you're stopping, you're reflecting, you're thinking about the information you're reading, you're figuring it out as you go. There's an instructor voice lecture that's provided by your publisher. There's a link to those in your chapter folder. Please listen to those. You should practice all the short exercises at the end of the chapter for reinforcement. You will have all the answer keys in the chapter folder. You should then post a question, a participation discussion board question on the material. Now, you must post a relevant question towards the material. I don't want questions posted that the obvious answer is in the textbook. Like, what is a statement of cash flow? Well, the answer could be typed out of the book. That's not what we're looking for here. We're looking for questions where you're confused, not something where you can read the textbook and find the answer right there. That's number one. Number two, we're looking for you to respond to another student's posting and not, wow, that was a really great question. I'm confused too. I mean, that's not what I'm looking for here. I'm looking for you either to respond to a student's question because you know the correct answer, or make a comment about it. It may not be a question looking for a correct answer. It may be, something, a statement about the material. I've worked in this and I've seen this and this and this. And you may respond, yes, I've worked in it too. Did you ever see this? So that's the kind of postings we're looking for here. Reflective postings, not give me the definition. You're not going to get credit for those kinds. Or I agree with you. Great post. No, that's not answering someone's discussion board question. Okay, so once you go through that, by the way, those discussion boards close the Wednesday night after the chapter is due. Every chapter is usually due. The work is due Sunday night. And the chapter due dates are on the course calendar. Next thing you're going to do is go to My Accounting Lab and complete practice exercises. You can complete these exercises as many times as you like. You must score an 80% or better on them. And there is always question help in the right-hand side if you need it. And I think it's something that says question help and you just click on it. And there's a couple different methods that will help you. There's something called demo docs, videos. It'll take you to the e-text, the page in the book that will help you. So there's various ways to get additional assistance or quote tutoring. The next thing you want to do after you master the practice exercises is to work on a practice problem. advise you to practice the problem on paper because now you're doing a comprehensive problem from the book, and these are all listed on the course assignment and calendar area. And then listen to the voice lecture I prepared discussing the step-by-step completion of the problem. And then that'll help reinforce the material. At this point, you're ready for a graded assignment to be completed. You must have scored at least an 80% on the practice exercises. You will have 2 attempts for a graded assignment. Only the incorrect part of the first attempt will need to be corrected for the second attempt. These assignments have strict due dates. There's no extensions allowed for any reason. You'll lose 5 points per day for any late assignments. And these assignments will be averaged and weighted as 25% of your final grade. After the graded problems, you can then work on a quiz. This is also accessible in Blackboard, but is through My Accounting Lab. The quiz is comprised of 20 multiple choice theory type questions. It's worth 100% each quiz. It must be completed by the due date. You will have 1 attempt and you must finish the quiz in 30 minutes. This is a final test to show you've mastered the material of the chapter. Oh, I'm sorry, not 130. It's in 130-minute sitting. Let's see. There are 2 attempts. I apologize for that. I was reading this wrong. There's 2 attempts for each quiz, but you have to finish it in 1 30-minute sitting each attempt. And then the higher of the 2 grades will be that chapter's quiz grade. Quizzes will be averaged and weighted at 15% of your final grade. Extra credit is available as well. You must have scored a 50% or better on the graded problems to have access to extra credit. They're meant to prepare you for the exam for that chapter. So the extra credit is not available after the exam on that chapter. For each exercise you complete, there might be 4 or 5 for a chapter, you get a half a point of extra credit. These points, extra credit points, would then be added to your test grades before averaging. Okay? Now, the other 2 items. Exams. Exams will be held after 2 chapters are complete. So there's a total of 4 exams. We'll be completing chapters 11 through 17. So the first 3 tests are on 2 chapters. The final exam is on 1 chapter, chapter 17. There will be 4 exams then during the semester, and all tests are completed within My Accounting Lab. They're multiple choice and problem oriented. I encourage you to send me any type of scratch work, details to support any of the problems you do in My Accounting Lab on the tests for partial credit purposes. You must submit those to me within 20 minutes of submitting your exam though. So please be aware of that. I won't accept it if it's after 20 minutes. Tests will be averaged and account for 45% of a student's final grade. A group project will also be completed this semester. I'm still working on the requirements and the information related to it. It is something that you probably won't really be able to work on part of it throughout the semester, but the final part of it will be at the end of the semester. But don't wait to start it. It will be due December 12th. Like I said, it's a group project. You'll probably be in groups of 3. Each group will submit 1 final project, and it will account for 10% of your final grade. I'll be sending a separate email with more details about it, but something else to keep in mind is that there will be a peer review element as part of a student's final grade. So everybody in the group must participate because your peers will be evaluating your performance as well. So again, exams are 45%, graded problems are 25%, quizzes are 15%, your project is 10%, and your participation in the discussion board postings are 5% of your final grade. And there's the letter conversion to from the number computation. So let's go through an example of how we figure out your final grade, just so there's no confusion. First of all, I want to make sure you understand that my accounting lab does not house your grade. It doesn't. It tells you some of your grade, but not all of your grade. The gradebook in Blackboard Learn is where your final grade is actually computed. Something else to keep in mind, it does not grade you as you go. What it is doing, my gradebook is already set up so that it averages all the assignments as if they were all completed. So if you get 100 on your first assignment, it might actually say your grade average is 100 divided by 7 because there's 7 grades. So it's not going to say your grade so far is 100 on your assignments. It's going to say your average is really 100 divided by 7. So there's a couple of reasons why I do that. So know that your grade in Blackboard may not reflect what it actually is at. So you might have to do some computing on your own. That's okay. We'll tell you how to do it. Let's give an example here. Let's say your first 4 tests are those grades there. Test 1 is an 80, 2 is a 75, 3 is a 40, and 4 is an 80. And you did some extra points that totaled 6 points. What I do is this is the test category. So I add up each test score in your extra credit, 80, 75, 40, 80, and a 6, and that equals 281. I divide it by the 4 exams. So at any time you could see your test average. Add up the scores of your test, divide by the number of tests. So this is a 70.25 average. I do that for each category that becomes part of your final grade. So let's say I did that for your test, 70.25. I multiply that by 45%. That's how much of the test weight is in your final grade. The project, well, there's only one, so whatever your score is, I multiply that by 10%. Graded assignments, there'll be 7 of those. I add up all the scores, divide by 7. Let's say your final average came out to be an 85. Same with the quizzes, a 90. And participation, you did all your participation, so you got 100. I then weight those averages by the applicable percentage and then add up those results. So the total grade would be a 78.86, which in a letter conversion would be a C+. So that is how your grade is actually computed. I don't do anything with points, or I do it pretty much the old-fashioned way. I average each category and then weight it by category. So if you want to make sure that you're figuring out your grade the correct way, I suggest that you do all the details, do a complete computation, show all the details of how you did your computation, and you're more than welcome to email it to me to see if you figured it out correctly. Other information on the course outline. Plagiarism and cheating, we just don't do it, right? You could read about that. Contacting me, I ask that you contact me only through Blackboard. You will email me through Blackboard only. I will not accept any personal or student emails other than those sent through Blackboard. I have 9 classes at LCCC, and they're all through Blackboard, and I don't remember who's in what class half the time. So you need to email me that way, and then I'll know you're in Accounting 112 and what your question is. My email policy, oh, and by the way, I answer emails daily. So within 24 hours, normally you will have an answer. My email policy is you are in an online class. You should be checking your email that is connected to Blackboard daily, every single day, especially if you request something from me. So if you request something special, and sometimes I'll give an extension once a semester for an extreme reason, you email me Tuesday asking for this extension. I say, okay, you have an extension till Thursday. You don't check email till Friday. Don't email me again saying, I just checked my email. Nope. Everybody should be checking their email every single day. Tutoring. There are tutoring services on campus, and there's a link in your outline to learn more about those. And then accessibility services, that if I need to be aware of any special needs for testing or coursework, you contact that area where there's a link in your outline, and then they'll make me aware of your situation. Some other information. The last day to drop this course is November 2nd, which is a Friday. And then, the outline is subject to change. Okay? So if you have any questions about the outline, please make sure you email me. Other items in our orientation area, the assignment listing. So you'll see that every chapter is already on this assignment listing with the various exercises you'll complete in my accounting lab as practice that you have to get an 80% or better on, and the graded problems that must be completed in my accounting lab, and the due dates for all the various items, including tests. I suggest you create a calendar. It's normally a Sunday night for the regular chapter work, and I believe a Wednesday night for the tests, but create a calendar and make sure you follow it. That's your responsibility. Registration for my accounting lab. There's very simple instructions for doing that. And I'll just tell you those. I don't think I have a separate slide here for them. So let me just tell you quickly. Here's what you do. You right below where it says instructions for my accounting lab, there's a link to my accounting lab for this course. Click on it. It's going to ask you for your username and password. You're going to use your username and password that you used last semester or the last time when you took Accounting 111. Click that in and you should be in the course. Okay, it's as easy as that. Do not buy anything if you don't have to. So if you've had Accounting 111 in the fall 2017 or later, you do not have to buy anything. And issues should be brought to my attention immediately. The last two things I need you to do is first introduce yourself on the discussion board. Tell us a little bit about yourself. And then email me when you're all done with the orientation, and there's instructions there on what I would like to see in the email. Okay, so that's just a quick presentation on the semester and getting ready for this course. If you have any questions at all, it's very easy. Just email me, call me. Very easy to communicate with, and we'll get any problems you have resolved. I welcome you to Accounting 112. Let's make it a great semester, guys.